welcome to Mornings with Megan. My name is Megan Wysock. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at Thaddeus College of Technology. Mornings with Megan is a short segmented series where we highlight one of our offices on campus and get questions answered. We definitely do the trades and the technical fields very well here at Stevens, but in addition to that, students are coming out well-rounded and also getting academics. We're finding out more and getting questions answered by our guest this morning, our Dean of Academic Affairs, Mr. Michael DeGroft. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Megan. It's a pleasure.
We're going to get right into it and get to our first question. So if I come to Thaddeus Stevens College of Technology, am I only studying in my program of study?
No, you'll take a wide variety of classes, some English classes, some math, social science, humanities. Our goal is to make you a well-rounded student, so upon graduation, when you go into industry, you're prepared to effectively communicate, critical thinking, interacting with colleagues as well as your clients, so you get that broad perspective, but we make sure that those classes you're taking, for the most part, they directly relate to the industry that you'll be going into.
Wonderful. But I don't want to become an English major, so can you elaborate a little bit more about why I have to take English? Or how is math important to a program like carpentry?
Sure. So let's use plumbing, for example. If you go into the plumbing trade, majority of your jobs, you're going to be interacting with customers. So you need to effectively communicate with them. You need to speak intelligently. You need to be clear in the communication. Part of your job may include writing up estimates and proposals. You may have to give the customer kind of an outline of what the job entails. So you need to be able to effectively write so that the customer understands the project that's going to be done and they feel comfortable and confident in your ability to do it. And in almost all of our programs, you mentioned carpentry, math is such a critical component. Math is important in carpentry. If you're building a house, if your measurement's off by half an inch, that can throw the entire house off. So math is very important for a lot of our programs.
What are some examples of other courses that are also required?
So in addition to math and English courses that a student would take, students will also take some science classes, and typically those science classes directly relate to the program that a student is in. There may be some computer classes as well to ensure that a student has the aptitude in different computer software systems when they go into industry. And humanities courses and some general education electives as well are typical courses, history, sociology, those kind of things.
I think this is always a tough one for students because they're always hesitant to ask for help. But what should I do if I'm a student and I'm not doing well in a class?
Ask for help. Number one thing is it's so important for students to advocate for themselves. We have an academic center located in our library. We have lots of resources there, tutors, professional tutors, student tutors, peer tutors. Lots of people are here to help, but if the student doesn't reach out and take advantage of those resources and individuals that are here to help students, we can't do it. So it's very important for a student to advocate for themselves when they need that help.
What tips do you have for students who are considering Thaddeus Stevens College?
I would say, continue to work hard. If you're still in high school, continue to work hard. Continue to push yourself. If there's an opportunity to take some classes that might help you be a little more advanced prior coming in, and specifically mathematics, we see that as an area. I would encourage that. But also do your research about the college. Do a good job of understanding what we're all about, the expectations, the time commitment, and make sure that what you're interested in is the right fit for you.
What should I do if I'm unsure on the program that I would like to apply for?
That's a great question. One of the unique things about Thaddeus Stevens is you go right into your major, and it's not like a traditional school where you can kind of change your major and figure things out. You really need to know day one that it's the right fit for you. So I strongly encourage all students to speak with people in the industry. If you are interested, let's say in collision repair, go to a shop that's nearby you. I guarantee that owner would love to discuss what the profession, the industry is all about, what you'll be doing, expectations, the wide variety of opportunities that are out there. So speak with professionals and ask to shadow, maybe in a local industry, to get to know things, and just ask lots of questions of those that do that, because that'll be the best way. And additionally, I would visit the campus once COVID obviously is over and we have that opportunity. Things are a little bit more back to normal, but see our facilities and what it would entail to be here.
Fantastic. And you can always get the most up-to-date info on when we are permitting visitors back to campus by going to stevenscollege.edu and selecting visits, because we can't wait to have you back on campus. So that's a good plug. What do you think one misconception is that students have of Thaddeus Stevens College?
Probably that because it's a 2-year technical trade type school that it's easy. I think that's a big misconception of a lot of students. The fact of the matter is our students are in class probably twice, if not more than that, of a normal traditional college setting. Our students are in their program 4.5 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus they have their general education classes. So it's a big time commitment, and then obviously you have to study and homework and those kind of things outside of the classroom. So I think the biggest misconception is that just because it's a 2-year school that it will be easy, but it's a difficult environment, but lots of resources here to help with those difficulties.
Absolutely. And worth it. The hard work is definitely worth it. So this is my favorite question. I was looking forward to this one. So we heard a rumor that you were once a Thaddeus Stevens College student yourself. What advice would you give to younger Michael?
So that rumor is true. We won't discuss how long ago that was when I was a student, although it does feel like it was just yesterday. I think if I could go back in time and tell a younger me, I would have gotten more involved on campus in different clubs or organizations, maybe within student government. There's an outdoors club. There's boxing clubs. There's lots of different ways to get involved on the college campus, and I didn't take advantage of that, and I wish I would have. I think it would have helped me to meet some other students in different programs other than myself, and just would have added to the experience a little bit. And the more engaged you are, the better the experience that you'll have. So that's one thing that I probably would change.
What type of support does the college provide for both the technical majors and the academic classes? And I know we have elaborated a little bit on the academic side, but can you differentiate between the two for us?
So in the major, almost every program has a peer tutor. So for freshman students, that's usually a sophomore student that's gone through the first year. They've done very well. They're kind of one of the top students. So a lot of times we find our students learn really well from one another. So if you're struggling in your program, that is a great resource. But our all of the technical faculty, they are also available to students, and they have what we call office hours. So that may be before class or after class, where they're available for you to work a little bit one-on-one with if you need some additional help. And then we talked a little bit already about the academic side of things with the peer tutors, the academic center, and those resources. So there's both are different between the technical and the gen ed classes, but there's still lots of great resources for both aspects.
And just a follow up to that, if I have, let's say, a paper in my machining course, am I able to utilize things like the academic center and the tutoring center for technical courses as well?
Absolutely. So we have an English and a math lab. So if a student needs to write a paper, it doesn't matter if that's for an English class, if it's for a masonry class, if it's for a machine class, students are able to go there for any paper that they have to do on campus. So those services are able to be utilized. And I mentioned the math lab. So if you're in a program that has a lot of math involved and you're struggling, you can go to the math lab and they're there to help you as well.
How can students best utilize the Academic Affairs Office?
It's a great question. So under Academic Affairs, we have lots of resources. We have tutors, we have our academic center, we have counselors, we have academic coaches, mentors, and all of those services and individuals are here to help the students succeed. So Academic Affairs plays a critical role in ensuring that students have the tools in their toolkit to be successful in the classes. And we have a very rigorous retention system on campus, so when a student starts to struggle, we have a key group that will reach out to them immediately and start to help them navigate how to improve upon those strength or those weaknesses that they're having, so that they can be successful.
Excellent. Is there a good way or a point person to contact the Academic Affairs Office if students had questions, or maybe a parent or a counselor is watching and they wanted to get more info on those things that you listed?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I would be probably the best contact. Just reach out directly to me. I'm always more than welcome to share that information and make sure that everybody's aware of all the great things. One of the biggest obstacles sometimes is just people not knowing or not asking. So always encourage people to reach out and ask those questions.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Mornings with Megan. Get ready for the most anticipated episode of Mornings with Megan next month. We have none other than the president of the college, Mr. Pedro Rivera, joining us. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.